Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at United Health. It is time for another update, and on this chart we are still tracking on the large time frame from the all-time low the idea that we have here a double 1-2 setup that have formed. Then we have a larger wave 3 internally within the larger wave 3 structure, and now we are looking at the correction in the wave 4. Now within this wave 4 correction we are expecting to find support in the area between the $260 level all the way down to the $96 level, and as long as this area holds we can look with high likelihood for a reversal to new all-time highs in a wave 5. Now at this point, as I was mentioning in many of the previous videos, it is suggested to us by the structure of the price that has formed so far within this wave for correction from this wave 3 top, that it is likely that we will form an additional low, since we have formed a pretty compelling 5-wave structure to the downside that I am considering as a leading diagonal within the wave A, and now I am looking for a correction to the upside in wave B, and I expect to find resistance in the area between the $342 level all the way up to the $510 level. And as long as we hold this area of resistance, as long as we stay below the $510 level, we can with high likelihood still expect the same likelihood, we can still expect an additional leg down to the downside in a wave C. Now there is of course the possibility that we have already bottomed, but as long as we don't break this structure, or sorry, this resistance level, I am preferring another low. And if we manage to create a larger initial 5-wave structure to the upside, it will also be a pretty good indication that we may have bottomed, but it will likely have to happen outside of this resistance area at this point. Now internally, we may even be able to have a count of a 5-wave structure within this push to the upside so far, and in that case I would initially at least consider this a wave A up. I would be looking afterwards for a correction in a wave B, and then we can find another wave C to the upside. The same zigzag pattern that we are tracking here to the downside could happen internally within this wave B. But for now, we need to also be aware that it is possible that this wave B has fully topped. It is possible for me to track this as something like an A, B, C pattern complete. Even all the way up here doesn't really matter. And then I could be looking already for the larger wave C in Y to the downside, in which I am expecting to form a 5-wave structure and take us to new lows within the support zone. Now, internally within this wave B, we have been tracking some ideas. Now, with this latest top, it is possible for me to consider it full even within the orange scenario. It is not, unfortunately, it is not the clearest ABC structure. I would have to consider that this wave B has unfolded as a triangle to have it work out, but at this point it doesn't really matter. We have formed a new high. It is on a very small and fragile time frame. The only clear thing is that this blue structure has not followed to the upside. Now it does, however, have another chance. If we find a reset here within this wave 4 in blue, we can look still for higher prices within a follow-up wave 5, and we do still have this area of support for such a pattern to occur between the $356 level all the way down to the $335 level at the 50% retracement. Now if in fact we fail to actually hold such a structure, such a support zone, I would have to look all the way down to the larger area of support that we would need to consider within a possible extension here in this yellow interpretation, where we have support in the area between the $316.8 level all the way down to the $260 level at the 78.6% retracement. Now, as I was mentioning, it is possible for me to count this as a 3-wave structure to the upside and as a 5-wave structure as well. For example, in the 3-wave structure to the upside, we have a possible A, B, C that may have occurred in this area. It's not necessarily the prettiest wave C, but it can work out, to be honest. And then we also have the possibility to count this as a 1, 2, this as a 3rd wave up, a 4th wave down, and then a 5th wave in this area. And in that case, I would be able to have a full 5-wave structure complete. Now, honestly, this idea does look a little bit out of proportions. It is not ideal. Maybe no, not even the case. Never mind. I was considering a possible triangle in this area, but yeah, actually an A, B, C could be the case. It doesn't look too good, but yeah, I suppose it is possible. But the main idea is we have this area of support. In both cases, it is identical, where we can look for support to find correction in something like a larger A, B, C pattern to extend this larger wave B to the upside. But for now, we are still holding the area of support in the blue interpretation, so we can still attempt to track this possible larger impulse to the upside. And in that case, for now, we have the $335 level, the first level to break a scenario, and then we would need to look for the larger area of support here in yellow. And for now, I suppose we could also be looking a little bit here in the shorter time frame, where I suppose this would be an initial 1-2 setup that has formed, and now I would be looking for a third wave down in the case of the blue interpretation, where this would be a larger ABC structure that would be unfolding. And once we have this third wave, this internal wave tree complete, I do have to say it is actually likely that this is not the full wave tree. We might be looking at some still further extension or something like an ABC pattern to unfold internally, where it could still develop as a larger ending diagonal. But generally, I am looking for a likely ABC pattern in this area, and in that case, yeah, we would like to see a 5-wave structure to the downside, but don't get too caught within the internals. It is on a very small time frame, so yeah, don't trade the count, trade the levels, and you have the levels here. So if you're interested for the quickest area of entry, yeah, we just reached the 23.6% retracement, and we did create an initial reaction. The 38.2% retracement is the ideal target for a wave 4, and yeah, as long as this area of support holds, we can still find an additional high within this blue scenario. But if it doesn't, we are looking here for the larger support zone, after which we can still expect at least, yeah, maybe a relief rally, if not an entire extension within the larger wave B in white to the upside. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.